All right, so we are live right now over
Okay.
there. Hi everyone, happy Wednesday to all of you. Today is Thaipusam Eve, so on behalf of everyone here, just want to wish those that are celebrating Thaipusam, especially to our colleague Shubha, happy Thaipusam in advance.
Thank you, Lai.
Yes, and at the same time,
Happy Taipusam, Shubha.
Thank you.
I think this is the very first time I think most of you guys are meeting our two colleagues here. Maybe I'll just let Shubha and Kelly to introduce themselves.
Okay. Okay, I start first. Okay. Hi everyone. This is Shubham. Okay. I'm actually technology recruiter from BTC Recruitment Malaysia. I have about like 7 years experience in IT recruitment, specializing in mostly in software development roles, data analytics role, data engineering, data science, project management, and also IT infra roles. So at BTC, I joined Lai. Lai actually, we both are actually ex-colleague previously. Lai used to be my manager. Now I joined back Lai because we know how we work together and we felt like comfortable working together. So I joined Lai back. So today we are doing live together. Thank you very much, Lai. I think this is the first time I'm doing live in LinkedIn. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Shubha. And
Mm-mm.
now Kelly can share a bit of introduction about yourself.
Okay. What should I share? Okay, so I am Kelly, right? Right now, I am one of the recruiters in BTC Malaysia, working with Lai and together with Shubha, right, and the team. So I have not much of recruitment experience, just 1 year plus right now, right? But previously, I'm in engineering. I used to work with Western Digital for 8 years, right? And also a Japanese firm for another 2 years as R&D engineer, as well as failure analysis engineer. So right now, being a recruiter, I'm not only recruiting for engineering, but also in other fields like sales and marketing, right? And as well as banking and some other sectors. So yeah, so it's a little bit nervous today, but it's all good because Lai and Shiva is here. Yeah.
All right. So the format today is a bit casual because if you guys have just posted about an
Mm.
hour earlier, right? That we wanted to be introducing a workshop that we're going to be organizing, and the topic today is to enhance your employability. I think that's where a lot of us are looking at, especially earlier on. We just hosted over a few hundred over participants virtual career fair today for interns, fresh graduate, and 1 to 3 years working experience. And these are questions that have been asked by interns and as well as fresh graduates. So how do I increase my visibility and also to enhance my employability? So that's where we decided to have a quick live here over here. So maybe just casually, the first topic when I say, how do you increase employability? From Shubha, Kelly, any of you guys, what are your thoughts on this?
I think most importantly, I think the soft skill is the main key point here, especially when we talk about the employability. So the soft skill, especially the communication, how you communicate with people, and how well you communicate when you deliver certain message, right? Definitely, it shows your professionalism. So I think this is a soft skills, some of the soft skills that the job seeker need to have, especially to stand out compared to, because there's a lot of candidates out there will apply for the same job. So how you can stand out among these candidates? So I think soft skill is the most important part whenever you want to stand out among these candidates. I think that's the most important part lah, for yeah, in my opinion.
Mm, understand,
Mm-mm.
understand. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing this.
Mm.
I agree with Shobha actually. Yeah, because having a degree, right? Everyone will have the same degree, right? But
Mm.
what will make the candidate to stand out is the difference in terms of the soft skills that they have. Whether what are the strength that they have, what are the weaknesses that they have, right? So all this it's play a very major role in terms of that.
Mm, understand,
Definitely.
understand. Which is very important. because I think a lot of us, be it if you're working professional, when you started off, everyone has the same degree or diploma and even
Right.
masters. But how do you distinguish yourself as compared to your competitors? And which leads us to the second question over there. I think Shubha has mentioned it, but I think it would be good to elaborate. What is the most important employability skills that we need in the market, especially with COVID-19? We have a lot of applicants that are
Mm-mm.
applying right now. So, what do you think?
I think most importantly the communication, because nowadays, right, all the interviews, everything is happen virtually. So this is how you show, I mean, you show your capability in terms of how you deliver your mess, especially when you explain about your skill. So of
Mhm.
course you might have a lot of skills, right? So some candidate, whenever they explain about the skill set, right, they might be very good in terms of doing the work. But then when communication, whenever there's a lack of communication, right, in terms of their weak, so compared to someone, even though their skill set is not really strong, but they have a very good communication skill, right, they tend to be highlight. I mean, definitely they will be highlight candidate for the hiring manager or any HR. So I think one of the most important skill at this pandemic season, right? So I think the candidate should, I think, yeah, upskill their skill, especially in communication. I think that's the important part, lah. What I see during this pandemic time.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. Brush up the communication skill. I know they can communicate, especially when we come to work. That is different. But how you can sell yourself, especially when it's come to interview section, right? How can you sell yourself? Yeah, that's, and also the your self branding. Especially it shows your self branding. So how you show to them that you are capable of doing certain things, the required by the company or the HR. Yeah.
Yeah, so to add on as well, right?
Mm-mm.
Because as Shubha mentioned, the COVID
Mm,
pandemic and things like
mm,
that. So being like having a virtual interview session is a whole lot of different experience than you having a face-to-face interview. I think most of the candidate would need to bear in mind about this, right? So it is totally a different experience versus when you are in face-to-face. You will need to make sure that your connection is okay, right? And you portray how your intonations and things like that, right? It's
mm.
very different. So they need to take note on this. Yeah.
Totally agree. Just like the three of us, even though we are talking together, but in fact, I'm actually talking in front of a camera. So it's total different feeling.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Very
Exactly.
different. Very different. Very different. And I like the way that Shubha touched a bit about branding. And this
Mm-mm,
leads us to the third question. Is
mm-mm.
personal branding important over here?
Mm, yes. Of course it's important because for now, like when everyone is turning the offline to online, right, they are very less face to face or meet up anymore, right? So how do you build your presence when you are at home not participating in any physical event? So you will need to have some personal branding, and that's where I think LinkedIn would be a very good platform, I would say, because LinkedIn is a platform for a social media platform for working professionals, right? For us to build our connections, for us to broaden our circles of influence. So I think one of the way is that we need to brand ourselves. We need to make more prominent existence in terms of our own self in LinkedIn. Yeah,
Hmm.
that would be a way.
Agreed. Totally agreed with
Yep.
LinkedIn because being a professional platform. From yourself, Shubha, how do you feel?
Yeah, I totally agree with Kelly, right? Especially LinkedIn nowadays, seeing a lot of job seekers. They are posting a lot of things. They are promoting themselves, and also they're sharing a lot of good things. And these things, right, definitely can be an eye catcher for the, even it can be a future employer for them. So people are seeing, watching them, what are they doing in especially professional platform like LinkedIn. So I think it's a good way for everyone, especially the job seeker, to promote themselves. Actually, they're selling their self, what are the skill set. Even let's say they are a small winning, for example, they have might done some professional certification. So when you take completion of the certification, right, they can
Mhm.
even post in LinkedIn. They can, yeah, tell people that, oh yeah, finally I successful done the certification. Yeah, these are the added skills in my resume. You can find, you can find this in my CV right now. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think it's a good point that Kelly bring out. Yeah.
Agreed. I still remember there were a few times where there were clients who engaged us who says, "Hey, Lai, can you help me to look for that candidate? Because that
Mm,
candidate has been very active on LinkedIn and sharing very relevant information, technical information. Can you
mm,
please find these people, these individuals for me?" And we actually managed to do so. It shows
Mm.
that people do
mm,
read
mm,
on LinkedIn. And personally, for myself as well, I have been extremely active on LinkedIn. This is my fourth year incoming, and I'll be starting doing a lot of lives. And I believe some of you guys, if you have been following me on LinkedIn, you would have seen the more I post, the higher visibility there is, and it's free. The keynote here is it's a free platform, but there's a way of how do you do it in that sense. But do it right, you will have your gains. Definitely, I totally agree with both Kelly and Shuba on this area. And talking back into the
mm,
career fair itself, there
Mhm.
were a lot of participants that actually asked this question. Uh, because we were telling them, hey, there are a lot of employers, they are hiring, they are selectively hiring, but
mm,
Mhm.
versus the number of applicants that are surging up right now,
mm,
what makes a good CV? And this is the question for most people, if you are job seekers, especially those impacted by COVID, or you are fresh graduates or working professional, how do you know if your CV is good enough on that
Okay.
part?
So, yeah.
yes,
Okay. So I think a good CV is that when a third party have your CVs and read through it, right? Firstly, they understand. Secondly, it is easy to read, right? And thirdly, they get the information, the skills or the experience that you're going to highlight to them, although they are not in the industry or although they do not have any like similar experience, but they will understand. So in order for you to write a good series, the key criteria is that make it understandable for people when they
mm,
read
mm,
up your series. That is very important.
agree, agree. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like we have like I think for HR or even internal recruiters, right, or even
Mm,
hiring managers, they will receive a lot of CVs each day. So for
mm, mm,
us to actually screen through the CVs, if you are not doing it good, your CVs doesn't get us to read well and things like that,
mm,
right?
mm,
Probably it will be put aside, yeah, as compared
yeah,
to those series that is good, right? So
mm,
in
mm,
terms of there, I think we should emphasize on writing a good series.
Hmm.
yeah. Agree, agree. To add it on, right? I think one of the things that we can add is a professional summary. So because there's a lot of CVs when you receive, right? I don't think so they will have a time to go through the entire CV. Some people they have quite a number of pages. Let's see if you compact everything in a very good professional summary, right? So you can include, you can highlight your um, main skill set according to the job that you apply, your background, your soft skill as well, and any certification. So at least of 4 5 lines, and make it clear what are you trying to say. I mean, why are you looking for this? Why you're applying for this job? So make sure when you write the professional summary, right, it make sure is something relevant, must be relevant. So don't write not relevant, relevant to the job that you apply in. I think that's also important key point here for CV, right? Yeah, good CV.
Agreed. I think that's totally important. And Kelly
Mm-mm,
highlighted a very important thing. I've noticed one of the key aspects, especially for those graduates or working professionals that are very technical, they spend a lot of time putting efforts to do CV, but only to find out that they have put it too much attention into it and only they could understand because there's just too many technical jargons that we don't
mm-mm,
expect someone
Mm,
who's reading
yeah.
it for the very first time to understand.
mm-mm,
I could say this, and this is something you've been following me on LinkedIn. I've said it. You can be proud of your work, but don't fall in love with it. So that's why throughout my entire 9 years in recruitment, I've given so many feedbacks, even to C levels, to tell them that you can be proud of your CV, but don't fall in love with it. Because when I give you some feedback, I hope that you can take it positively so that it will make your CV stands out over there.
Mm-mm.
And the key things as well, do you know what the HR and hiring managers look for in the CV? That is the key things. Because a
Mm-mm.
lot of people tend to write too much or they tend to write too little. So what are your thoughts? What should they put in their CVs? What are they looking for?
I think they firstly they need
Okay.
to customize. They need to customize.
Yes.
Customization is very important. No one series that can like suit all of the jobs that they applied, right? So first thing first is that they need to do some research in that sense. They need to know what
Mm-mm.
are the jobs that they applied for, right? What are the companies? Then slowly they will tend to get all the key points and match it to their own experience, right? To their own
Mm-mm.
achievement. And if they could match it, put it in. Those are the informations that most likely the hiring managers or even the uh, recruiters or HR will wants to see, right? Those are the key points that they wants to look at when they look at your series.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. True.
Totally agree on that part because customizations plays a role of deals. I've interviewed people who have applied 100 to 200 jobs using the same CV.
Mm-mm.
And for it, the person has applied to multiple positions, developer, business analyst, project manager, accounting, and sales, just trying their luck using the same CV, which doesn't make any sense at all. I would say this over there. Anything from experience that you have seen, Shubha, based on your years of experience looking at CV.
Oh, a lot, like a lot. The same person, same CV apply to all the jobs that I advertise. Okay, even though we can see that they have some experience, past experience, but they apply using the same CV for all the jobs. Of course, it's look as a recruiter, right? When I also I have experience working as an internal recruiter, right? So when I look at the CV, right, automatically I will reject the CV. The first thing as an internal recruiter, right? I won't be interested to look. Even I won't go through the second page, third page, because we tend to receive a lot of CVs for one job that advertised. There's a totally quite difference, where working in agency and also working as an internal recruiter. So as an internal recruiter, when I post one job, I receive too many compared to as an external. So as an internal recruiter, when I see all these CVs, right, when I see irrelevant candidate, for example, they might be suitable for other roles but not suitable for this role. But what is my first impression? This
Hmm.
candidate didn't do any homework, simply apply, simply click and apply for the roles. So that is the first impression that I will get. So I highly suggest and I recommend, make sure, as Kelly said, customize your CV, yeah, according to the job that you want to apply. If you want to apply for the software
Yeah.
development, apply for software development. Project manager, make sure it's a project manager. Yeah, because software developer can be a project manager as well. But make sure that how you customize your CV. Yeah, that's most
Right.
important thing. Yeah.
I just want to give you guys a like if and this is very, very important. And
Mm-mm,
this leads into where we wanted to discuss in our topic today to
mm-mm,
enhance your employability workshop over here. I just wanted to share this information with everyone over here. Hopefully all of you guys can see my screen right now where because of this and we felt that there's a need for us to do a workshop to help Malaysians over here and that's how we have decided to do a workshop that is titled Enhance Your Employability Workshops. In these sections over here, we are going to be supported by the whole BDC recruitment family, including our co-founder, Dato Alan Teo. Dato Alan Teo, just to give you guys a bit of an overview, for those of you that are participating, you will get a chance to connect with him, communicate with him. He has over 30 years of working experience with strong C-suite exposure in HR and operations. Within the past 10 years, over there, he was actually the C-suite for Great Eastern Insurance Malaysia, and his last role was the group COO of AIA Insurance Malaysia. So that's where how powerful is it that even myself, Dato Alan Teo, together with our colleagues Kelly, Shuba, and also a few of our other colleagues here that's going to be joining this workshop, we're going to share with you some of the best things. First, understand what is the most important soft skills of all. Because when you talk about soft skills, Shiva mentioned earlier on, we have communication, stakeholder management, persuasive
Mm-mm.
skills, and so what are the importance of these skills? And what are the skills that companies are looking for? And for you to portray and demonstrate during the interview session, especially when you are doing a virtual interview session, it could be Skype, Teams, Zoom, and so forth. What are people look for? Do you know what sort of skills that they're looking for based on the JD that you're applying in? There are tricks that we can help you. And knowing your strengths and weaknesses, we know that certain people tends to have very good project management skill. He or she can do wonders when it comes to project management, but in
Mm-mm.
terms of communication and stakeholder management, they are rather weak. So how can we
Mm-hmm.
fine tune,
Mm.
address what are your strengths, and how do you tweak your weaknesses so that you can improve it, and subsequently during interview session you can also demonstrate your capability, because companies would want to know that, because the more you're able to portray how adaptable you are, likely chance you're going to stand out as compared to your other competitors. And the fourth thing, upgrading your branding. You mentioned earlier on, Kelly Shiva mentioned about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the number one professional social media platform in the world right now. And I can tell you this, for most of
Right.
the job applicants that apply in that were interested, we will tend to go and take a look at their LinkedIn profile. And how would you want to
Mm-hmm.
portray? What should you put in on your LinkedIn profile so that it will attract, impress, and subsequently allow HR hiring managers to be very interested to go and have a chat with you? There is a trick. I will teach you that. And the remaining, the fifth and the sixth, what are the skills we mentioned about CV write up? Do you know what sort of things that you should put in your CV? What are the best practices? What are the
Mm-mm.
do and don'ts? What are the common mistakes that people make, and how could you enhance to avoid these mistakes so that you will stand out as compared to your competitors? Everyone, all of these things are teachable, and in this workshop itself, we're going to do it on next Saturday, 6th of February, from 1 to 5 p.m. It will be online, so regardless whether if you're in KL, Penang, Sabah, Sarawak, Kuching or so, you can join
Mm-hmm.
our session over here. And I can tell you this, typically for me, myself, and Dato Alan Teo, we are both certified trainers. We usually charge 250 ringgit for this. But because of the people that we have been connecting here on LinkedIn, we are giving out a very good promotions over here just for the first 20% to sign up. You only need to pay 100 ringgit, and this is only limited to the first 20 individuals to sign up. So what you should do right now, if you're interested to enhance your employability, I highly recommend for you to scan this QR code right now. Take a snapshot, scan it, fill in the details, and we'll share with you the information. Next Saturday, you will be going to be able to understand all of the six elements, and most importantly, you have direct access to all of this here at BTC Recruitment Malaysia. And we will do our best to help you to get much closer in securing your dream job. So that's something that we can all do, and we would like to help as many people as possible. So take advantage of this workshop, and we welcome any questions that you may have asked during the sessions. Myself, Kelly, Shubha, Dato Alan
Mm-mm.
Teo will be more than happy to answer them over here during these 4 hours. And the relationship doesn't end after that. So if you have any follow-ups, if you need us to review your CV, if you need us to help you on your job applications, we can continue to offer these services as well. Okay? So
Okay.
that's something to share with everyone over here. So hope you guys uh would be very very much open to join us. Okay, I know that there are some questions that's coming in from participants, so let's go through this question as well before we end our session. I think the first question by Sajif, it's what is the best channel to apply for jobs? LinkedIn, job streets, or company portal itself? Okay, let me answer this question for you. If you were to ask me, the best way to apply for a job, it's not through any job boards. It is directly to the HR itself, and we will
Mm-hmm.
teach you
True.
how to do it, how to build relationship with the HR recruiters so that you get prompt feedback. Because imagine this, if you were to apply via LinkedIn, job streets, and other portals, you are in. You're not taking control of the response, because why? You are in basically in mercy of the LinkedIn, be it the ATS, which is the application tracking system, how would they rank your profile, whether or not you are competing against 100, 200, or 300 job applicants. Would you stand a chance? So there's no right or wrong answer. But the only thing if you apply to job portals is that you just have to wait for a response. But what we can do during
Yeah.
the workshop, we
So
will teach you the best way on how do we get response, even if it is
mm-mm,
yes or no, so that there's no need for you to just hanging by a thread, thinking a month or 2 months later, is HR's going to call me? Are they not going to call me immediately within 2 weeks or so? You know the response. I will teach you that trick myself. Okay, that's the first thing. The second question asked by Noraisha: what happened if last experience doesn't match the job applied, but has the experience in previous company? How do we customize? Uh, Kelly, Shubha, you want to answer that?
Okay, maybe I'll take that.
mm-mm,
So, if let's say you have the experience, right? That is where Shubha mentioned that the professional summary is very important, I would say, right?
mm,
Because the chronologies of your experience, you couldn't change that in terms of having it in the CVs. But what you can do is that to emphasize whatever that the jobs that you applied for, the skills that they needed, if you have it, even though it's a job that is past the present ones, right? You would wants to tends to like emphasize it in your summary so that they would understand that you have that sort of skills. Yeah.
Agreed, because your CV is the key. And what you want to do is that you want your CV to attract HR and recruiters, hiring managers, so that they'll be very
mm-mm,
interested to give you a call, to get to know you. But if you're not able to customize your CV accordingly, which is attractive, no one's going to call you. And this is something I've been emphasizing for the longest time. And that's where the on the item number 5 over here, enhance your CV writing skills, we're going to teach you how to do that, how to customize your CVs so that you're going to be able to stand out as compared to the competitors. And something to add on,
mm-mm,
when it comes over to application, you have to know this. An interview session is an elimination session. So the moment when you start applying for a job, whether if your CV is out to HR recruiters and hiring managers to review, they are trying to eliminate you.
mm-hmm,
So the best ideal is that in grand prize, even in Olympics, you have first, second, and third winner, gold, silver, and bronze. So what the hiring managers and HRs trying to do is that they're trying to eliminate those individuals that are non-relevant so that they can shortlist potentially 3 to 5 good person and arrange for interview. And you want to be in the top 3 or top 5 in their list. And how do you do it? It's through customizations, and there's a technique. How do you
mm-mm.
do it over there? Okay. So Noraisha, if you're interested, I hope that you can join this workshop because we're going to be sharing a lot of good information personally from my experience over 9 years of recruitment, and also something to be shared by Dr. Alan Teo as well. Okay. And there's another question over here by Anisha. Can we apply for a job which we don't have experience, but since we would like a career change, how do we respond or apply over there? Anyone wants to take on this question?
I think this will be Carrie. Carrie did the career change.
Okay, so yeah, so I think Lai have that sort of experience as well, right? So
Mm-mm,
never say no, I would say, right? Because even though you do not have that direct experience, right, relevant experience, but there would be some soft skills or experience in terms of the learning that you have acquired, not in terms of technicalities, but more into soft skills that you have acquired, but that may be suitable for the job, right? So
mm-mm,
never say no. You can still try on, yeah, but yeah, you have to add on some sort of the soft skills and some your strengths in terms of how do you tackle the future jobs that you're going to apply. Yeah.
Hmm. Agreed. So answer your question short, Anisha. Just to add on to what Kelly has mentioned, it all comes down into what do you want. and you when you want to make a career switch, it's very important. Why do you want to make that career switch? All right. So what triggers you to make that career switch? And what do you long for when you make that switch? Are you aiming for short term? And this short term or long term, is it involve
Mm-mm.
personal satisfaction? Does it involve monetary? Does it involve change of locations or change of priorities? So without understanding all of this, it's very difficult because sometimes for us, if you were to look for someone who wants to apply for something that are non-relevant, we need to understand your motivation. Because if it is purely monetary, it's purely personal satisfaction, you need to include it in your CV. And the best thing for us to do, short for something that is short, it's to look into the path, something that you are interested in. If you have someone that is currently doing the role that you're interested to do right now, have a chat with that person. Invite the person for a Zoom meeting, Microsoft Team meeting, and ask question. Because a lot of the time is that you feel a lot of people wants to become recruiter because they have seen a lot of sharings that I've done. But I told you this, to become a good recruiter versus an excellent recruiter, it takes that added advantage, that edge, whether if you're really genuinely wanting to be in this industry or just wanted to be in the industry. So you need to ask the right question to yourself, build a relationship. If you have someone that could help you to understand better, talk to the person. For me, it took me 6 months before I made that decision to change from
Mm-mm.
IT to recruitment. So it doesn't mean that because you want to do right now, you do it right now. Sometimes it requires a lot of preparation. So I hope this will basically help to answer that question. And along the way, if you are really interested to go for a career change, the workshop is definitely going to be able to help you. Especially how do you package yourself that people will be very interested to get to know you and see that, okay, I want to give you a chance, Anisha. I think that you're very interesting,
Mhm.
and let's have a
Mm-mm.
chat. And I see how relevant you are. We're gonna be able to address that with you on this workshop.
Mm-mm.
Okay? And the last questions I believe is also coming in from Raisha.
Mm-mm.
Did recruiters go through all of the CVs? And how to tackle recruiters to read our CVs when he or she receive 100 CVs for one position?
Good questions.
Yes, good question. Definitely good question.
Over there. So anyone wants to take on this question?
Okay, 100 series, right? Okay, let me take this question. Okay, actually, this is an interesting question. How? Okay, I have a very good experience in this. Okay, I've experienced receiving hundreds, more than 100 CVs. So the main thing, right? As we mentioned, right, the customization is important here. Where play the keyword is the things. Okay. So what are the keyword? Okay, look at your job description. What are the requirement client F, right? For example, they're looking for someone have done project implementation experience. So make sure you must have this word, especially the keyword implementation. Okay. Oh, lead a team. So the lead, that is the keyword. Manage a team. Um Monitor. So there's some verb, okay, action verbs or keyword skill set. So actually the recruiters are definitely, they will open the CV, they will just control F, find whether they have these are the skill set because you cannot there's 100 CVs, okay. So to go through very fast, right, you, because that recruiter might have a lot of jobs in a pipeline, so they need to filter from 100, as I said, from 100 to 5 or 4 CVs, right. This is the fastest way. Definitely they will go by the keyword. So make sure you customize your CV. That's why we highlight the CV customization is really important. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Uh, I totally agree with you on that. Uh,
Yes.
and that's where there's a technique that we're going to teach during the workshop itself. So how do you stand out? Okay, a misconceptions. A lot of people, what they tend to do, right? The moment when they see a position, their thought is that, oh, I need to apply right now. I want to be the top 10 to top 10 or top 20 to apply for this role because hoping that HR will look into it. It doesn't work that way. So when a job is being posted, there is a durations of 30 days where the job will be posted available on any platform. It could be on LinkedIn, JobStreet, Monster, and so forth. It doesn't mean that because someone has posted that job, you need to apply directly because you feel like, okay, if I apply directly, I will be able to get the response promptly. It doesn't work that way. You need to make sure that your CVs are well prepared first. Because if you don't have the relevant information, as what Shubhas mentioned earlier on, and you just blindly apply, you're not going to get the response. Or rather than
Mm-mm.
such, for some of the people that we have spoken to, take the time. You come to us, we give you the feedback. You go. Some of you guys are busy, so you take the weekends to update it. A week later, you apply, and then you get a response a week later. So it doesn't mean that because there's someone that just posted a job, you must apply right away without taking into consideration the information, the implication whether or not are you suitable. So calm down, take a step back, go through the information first. There are ways how to do it properly, update the CVs, and it's okay to apply a week or 2 weeks later. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so the keywords is stay calm. All right, take your time. Don't rush, don't rush. Because sometimes when you rush, then you
Right.
miss out a lot of things. Okay?
True, true.
The last, I think this is going to be the last question before we end our session today. Sanjay sir, I came across some jobs on these online portals but couldn't get HR or direct recruiters contact from that. Any best way to get direct HR contact? How to approach them to make a good impression? Okay, I'm going to take this and later on
Okay.
Kelly and Shubha can answer it. There's
Mm-mm.
a technique and it links back over to your branding. All right, when you have a good branding, Sanjeev, sometimes you may not need to go and look for HR. They will come and look for you. Trust me this.
Yes.
There are something on your LinkedIn that you can do to optimize it that you don't even sometimes 50% of the time you don't even need to go to the HR or recruiters. They will come and look for you. Isn't that the best scenario? And along the way, there are also a technique. How can you get the information, the HR contact, the information, so that you can actually engage and approach them professionally? There are ways that we can do it. So we're going to share it over here. And it's quite technical, so I'm not going to go through it because if I were to share this, it will take another 15 to 20 minutes over. So we'll leave it during the workshop itself. So I believe, based on the question that you have, you may be
Mm-mm.
potentially actively looking for a job right now, and the workshop would be helpful for you. And this is something that I would be able to tell you this. Okay, so that's all. Anything to add on, Kelly, Shuba?
No, lah.
No, I
So far
think
good. Mm-mm.
we should leave something for them to
Mm.
attract them to join the workshop, right?
Yep.
Basically, I think it's not about the monetary that we are looking at right now. We really wants to help those job seekers in terms of how they can enhance their employability. It is very saddened to see those that keep on asking us like, why is it that I do not get any response from the HR, right? Or why is it that I've applied to so many jobs, but I still couldn't land myself in a job and things like that. So they need to understand what they are lacking of, right? So I think it would be beneficial for them to actually join this. I personally feel so, yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Totally agree. I totally agree with you on that over there. And honestly, in terms of the fees that we're charging, is very affordable. And
Yeah.
why are we doing this on LinkedIn, right? It's we came across the moment when you paid something, be it if it is a certain amount, when you paid something upfront, you will commit. And that's where we want to help you to commit. And for us to commit our time and effort to help you to get much closer to securing your dream job. And that is all we ask for. This the things that we're gonna help you to achieve, and this is the beginning of the long term relationship ahead as well because you're gonna have access to all of us here at BTC Recruitment Malaysia. And feel free to ask any question later on. And if you have friends to refer as well, by all means, please do. We'll be more than happy to speak to all of your friends. Okay, so that's it
Okay.
for today. Thank you very much for all of you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This workshop here, as I mentioned, is going to be extremely useful. We're going to have 4 hour session together on next Saturday on the 6th of February. Personally, Kelly, Shuba, myself, Dato Ellen will be more than happy to share some of the wisdoms, knowledge, and experience to enlighten you, and hopefully you can get with your dream jobs. And that's it. Anything to add on before we end our session, Kelly, Shuba?
Hope to see you all
Hope
in
to
the
see you all.
workshop. Yeah.
Yes, hope to see you all in workshop. Yeah, see you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for
Take
your
care,
time.
everyone.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye
And stay
Bye
safe.
bye.
Bye.
Yes, stay
bye.
safe, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.